a gardener-writer. That means that I may have an idea here and there, but I don't know what's in between those ideas. I don't have a concrete outline, but my writing doesn't turn out to be terrible. It still turns out to be writing. So this idea of not knowing where it's going but still getting somewhere brings me to today's topic of industrialization. Back in the Industrial Revolution, nobody realized that this agricultural land would turn into factories and bring us to where we are today. And it did. And so here we are. It would have changed our world so much if this had not happened. And we can explore this through 3 ideas. Through Albert Einstein's many ideas, through Amelia Earhart's endless adventures, and through George Martin, a gardener-writer of Game of Thrones. Albert Einstein was a little boy, and he was called lazy by his teachers because he couldn't focus on one idea. He had so many. But here we are talking about the greatest scientist of all time. He didn't know where he would get. He didn't know that he would come up with E = mc squared and the theory of relativity, but he did, and he changed the way we look at science and physics and math and all. So our world would be so different if just one change in his life had happened. He did not realize that he would become this great scientist that we are talking about. When he was called lazy, he continued to strive on, not knowing where he was going, but still getting there, getting to be part of the great world as someone great. And here we also can look at Amelia Earhart. When she was younger, she, her dog, and her siblings had always played adventurous games, but those adventures turned real when she became the greatest female pilot. She didn't know that she would become this pilot and go on these adventures and learn so much from them and change the world. Most of all, change the world. But she did, and here we are talking about her, this pilot who went on so many adventures so greatly. And she didn't know that she would get through all these points in her life just to get to this position. But she did. And like the Industrial Revolution, nobody knew that would be what she would be. But she is. We can also see George Martin. He is a gardener-writer, the writer of Game of Thrones. Many, many, many fans adore his writing, adore his Game of Thrones, but he didn't know, in a literal sense, the outline of the book, nor did he know the outline of his life, how he would get to this book. He just came up with ideas from history, from his own mind, from fantasy altogether, to create this fan-surrounded book, this series that literally had no outline of how it would end, no outline how it would begin. He didn't know what was in between his many ideas, but here we are talking about this great fan-surrounded author of a whole series. So today we explored how you can go through somewhere without an outline and still get somewhere. As the Industrial Revolution changed many lives for the better through not knowing where it would go. So the next time you think of needing navigation, needing somewhere to go, you can think of the Industrial Revolution. Through George Martin, through Amelia Earhart, through Albert Einstein. How they didn't know where they were going, how they got somewhere, and how they became such great people who are so important to our world today.